With the stakes and characters for Part 2 officially set up, the second act of Chainsaw Man gets scarier. Not only is there a new powerful devil threatening our two leads, something else much scarier is on the horizon, a high school dating life. Before that specific horror can begin, Asa has one other loose threat to wrap up. The mysterious girl with the chainsaw ripcord earrings present throughout the final battle with Yuko. Despite claiming Yoru was her little sister, the War Devil denies knowing her. Perhaps Asa will be able to ask the girl herself since she runs into her with the other Devil Hunter Club leaders. The new student council president offers Asa immediate entry into the club at the recommendation of Akoku, another leader rocking the same neck markings as Yoshida. Yoru is the one that accepts the offer and attempts to learn Chainsaw Man's identity once more. In a wild twist, her attempt appears successful since the student council president is more than happy to reveal the ripcord in his chest. Instead of confronting him, Yoru leaves to make a game plan with Asa. The War Devil reasons that she requires a strong weapon in order to defeat Chainsaw Man for good. She had a difficult time taking down Yuko, so she needs something even stronger for her mortal enemy. Asa is weirdly compliant with this request, upset about how miserable she's become since becoming a devil host. She's even willing to go back on her earlier promise to never turn a human into a weapon. The duo look over Tokyo searching for a potential victim. Yoru suggests that another meaningful possession would work, but unfortunately Asa doesn't have anything left. A cat, like the one Asa puts in her lap, won't work either. Fujimoto seems to have a soft spot for them. Yoru tries to convince her to find something undeserving of death, since guilt is a necessity for creating a powerful weapon. Their compromise is to find a middle ground, a person just over the line of a just victim like a criminal, but not as innocent as a cat. They pretty quickly find a potential target in a young man picking cigarette butts off the street. Unbeknownst to them both, their target is the worst possible option. It's Denji, who's upselling re-rolled cigarettes to the homeless. With a coaxing from Yoru and the memory of Yuko still fresh, Asa approaches Denji again. Since these two are both as unsocialized as a feral cat, their first one-on-one meeting is rough. However, Asa still manages to turn on the charm just enough to successfully ask Denji on a date the next day. After a pep talk in the mirror, Asa is ready for her meticulously planned date at the aquarium. Unfortunately, her idea of a good time is reciting a Wikipedia page's worth of facts on sea anemones and starfish to an increasingly unenthused Denji. She definitely gained some semblance of self-worth from part 1 and politely asks to see the penguin. This isn't the same guy that let an adult woman throw up in his mouth. Good for him. Asa petulantly insists that her way is the only way to have a perfect date, which cuts it short. Asa's riz is so non-existent that Yoru has to step in and tell her human host the truth. She's a total bore. One person does agree that Asa was in the right, the girl with the ripcord earrings. She knows that Denji is a morally gray individual, but she also knows that Asa is a goody two-shoes and lacks the drive to turn a human into a weapon. Considering this is just some girl she's crossed paths with, Asa is understandably shocked to learn that someone else knows her dirty little secret. However, Asa's dealings with the devil are still technically out of public knowledge. This is the Famine Devil, Fami for short. Another member of the Four Horsemen. I'm assuming she's the older sister because the fear of famine predates that of war. You can tell Fami is the older sister since she immediately takes the reins and forces Asa into an ultimatum. She's keeping Asa and Denji in a spatially warped aquarium. No windows, no doors, until Asa finds the resolve to make a human weapon. Having lived through the Eternity Devil situation, Denji dreads being stuck in an infinite hellscape again. He tries to give her advice, but Asa's know-it-all nature raises its head again. To be fair, she does know more about what's causing this specific case of spatial warping. She also has the 3 heads of the Devil Hunters Club to back her claims up. It seems like Denji's going to be ignored until an unexpected ally appears. Yoshida also happens to be at the aquarium, probably making sure Denji doesn't reveal his identity to a rando. It's definitely a case of right place, right time though, because Yoshida is a prodigy at devil hunting. He's a public safety devil hunter despite still being enrolled in high school. That's probably why he's the one on Denji's case. Yoshida isn't the only public safety devil hunter on hand either. The secret third higher up, hidden behind their hat for a few chapters now, turns out to be everyone's favorite crybaby, Kobeni. She's apparently returned to school, but was forced to rejoin devil hunting for the promise of scholarships. Haruka, the club president, takes control of the situation, giving Asa time to make a new game plan. If she can kill him, she can get her body back without making Denji a weapon. The group of teens make their way through the endless hall until they find a loose floor panel leading to one of several identical break rooms well stocked with water and frozen fish. With Kobeni's lighter and a pile of newspapers, the teens have a decent chance of survival. Well, except Asa, who refuses to eat something that looks dead. She takes her comrade's shock as an excuse to separate and panic alone. Denji is also back in the endless aquarium, picking up a sack of 1,000 yen, which Asa finds distasteful. After a very righteous argument, Asa declares herself a better person than her former date and resolves to find a way to help escape even without Yoru. With no other ideas for escape, the other devil hunters are stuck searching for some kind of clue. Turns out Asa has one since she has access to her cell phone. Still a rarity in this alternate universe 1990 something, and it has a bit of service. The celebration is cut short when the phone is broken. When a celebratory Asa falls, she's exiled to the endless hallway as a result. She lies in the hallway contemplating her fate until she realizes that Haruka joined her. He reveals that the ripcord in his chest is fake and it's just a part of an extensive Chainsaw Man merchandise collection. He begs to be saved by his hero, not knowing that Chainsaw Man is just a bit further down the endless hallway. 3 days have passed. Everyone's either lost their minds or made peace with the idea of death. Denji stumbles upon a tank containing a weakened Asa who hasn't eaten anything in days. In a state of delirium, she apologizes for inadvertently getting him trapped in the aquarium, and even reveals her plans to turn him into a human sword. Denji responds to her vulnerability with the proposition of eating starfish. With a thirsty Kobeni pressed against a glass, Denji and Asa find a starfish suitable for consumption and leave the tank to boil it. While waiting for their meal to cook, Asa questions Denji about his obsession with making a quick buck. He reveals that he's saving up tuition money so his little sister can lead a normal life. The two continue to bond when Asa tries and fails to eat a dried fish. Asa's newfound confidence after a few compliments reminds Denji of his old buddy Power, causing him to crack a genuine smile. The nutrient intake gives Asa another bright idea for escape, collecting money like they're in a Mario game. They speed around the aquarium, picking up anything that looks like it has cash. By the end of their run around the aquarium, their funds reach over 1 million yen, and Asa persuades Denji to hand over his part of the funds. He caves quickly with the promise of any favor from her, and uses the funds to buy the aquarium. Now the aquarium means something to her, and thus can be turned into a weapon. Everyone is freed, including Denji and a penguin he befriends immediately. The devil is enraged with Asa backing out on their deal, and winds up a tentacle to kill her, but Yoshida suavely intervenes. Yoru, no longer blocked by her sister, is able to take over Asa's body again. With the power of guilt for ruining an aquarium powering the sword, Yoru spears the new aquarium devil and impresses the devil hunters in the process. Denji and Asa walk back to her house where Asa apologizes once again. Denji tells her not to worry. He did get to touch a penguin and asks her out on a second date. The time spent in the aquarium gave Asa a little crush on him. It's a mistake. Since Yoru shares her brain, she knows that there's an emotional connection to take advantage of now. The devil takes the opportunity that this newfound connection offers and attempts to make Denji into a sword. She tries several times, but Denji just won't comply. He thinks it's some weird way to say goodbye. Both girls are confused as to why the sword manifestation didn't happen, but Yoru's content with learning that they can share emotions. Asa is less satisfied. She's a little upset by the potentially one-sided crush on Denji, and still has one remaining hang-up about the aquarium situation. She needs more answers on who the famine devil is, but Yoru only gives a brief overview. The next day, Denji lays out his stellar date plan. However, Asa's opinions on Denji have flipped, and she's back to bickering with him. She tries to reverse psychology her way into canceling the date by suggesting they rent VHS tapes at Denji's place. After an internal argument, he relents, but with deadly consequences if she breaks any house rules. She comes over, and the duo sit in awkward silence as Denji remembers his house rules. The only one that Asa doesn't immediately understand is no PDA in front of Denji's roommate. She's actually upset that he suggests they do anything outside of watching movies. She tells him that he's just a distraction for her, which causes him to freak out. His self-doubt gives Yoru time to emerge and send mixed signals with a kiss. The makeout is shortcut with a horde of dogs and the arrival of Nayuta, the reincarnation of the control devil. She's still super protective of Denji and immediately attacks Asa with a chain, turning her into a dog. Much like Makima, the new control devil uses dog behavior to control those that stand in her way. With the promise of food, she agrees to release Asa/Yoru. However, she takes her sweet time and tries to persuade Denji to keep her as a pet. Every woman he's come across has tried to hurt him. Why take another chance with Asa? He turns that idea down, but agrees to Nayuta's condition for releasing his date. Nayuta is just as manipulative as Makima though, and actively tries to isolate Denji from any woman. Later, Asa is back to normal, but believes that Denji stood her up thanks to Nayuta's mental manipulation. She's visibly upset about it, as much as she tries to rationalize it. She's about to give up and leave until Yoshida approaches her and asks her to hang out. And that's the end of the Dating Devil arc. There was a lot more human drama going on, and it gave us probably the worst date in manga history, and all the memes that came along with it. The Control Devil's return to the series also means another possibly antagonistic force for this second part. We'll see how these ever-shifting relationships affect the devil-centric part of the story, but that's pretty much it for this one, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.